Welcome back, everybody, to Freaky Tales Podcast, and I am your host, Tony A. the Wizard, on this Freaky Friday. And I want to thank everybody who tuned in, everybody who subscribed, everybody who liked, everybody who's on the live chat, everybody who shared. I would like to thank you guys for being a part of this podcast tonight. Let me clear something up. I announced that the Spy Smuggler would be here eventually. We've been talking, and he calls me every once in a while. He'll probably be on the live chat tonight, so you guys can hit him up and ask him yourselves. He is out of state, so it's very hard for him to be here. So as soon as he gives me the date, I will announce the date. But I never gave a date on when he would be here. As a matter of fact, he's the one that posted it up saying that he would be here, but he also never gave a date. So we'd like to apologize if many of you were confused and thought that he would be here today. But with that being said, I do have a special guest. He's returning. This is Sammy Ruiz, and I am glad to have him here on this Freaky Tales podcast on this Freaky Friday. How you doing?
Good, Brother Tony. Thank you, dude, for having me back.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you're here. You know, last time you were here, we had fun, and I want to continue that.
Yeah.
You know, you know what's funny? Because like I said earlier, I have so much fun doing this podcast. I look forward to it more than I do my other. Mm-hmm. You know, the crazy thing is that I rarely have time to do bookings because I'm producing it once again. Mm-hmm. I'm still filming. I got a lot of things going on, and there's just one of me.
Right.
So what I have to do is that either I have to get a Freaky Tales intern to do all my bookings, or the sad thing is that we have to cancel. And I want to apologize to the people watching that last week we canceled because my guest that was supposed to be here last minute canceled. Mm. And I'm not going to come on by myself and speak for 2 hours. I'm just not going to do that. So I would like to apologize for all you guys that have tuned in, and I'm not going to expose who this person was, but this person will be back. They just asked to be rescheduled. Something happened. It was a family issue, so we had to reschedule.
Yeah. The
sad thing is that the fans pay for that because I have a lot of fans that tune in, that watch. I have a lot of fans that when they see me, they tell me, hey, you know what? They don't even mention my other podcast. They say, hey, I'm a Freaky Tales fan.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, and I love that.
Yeah.
And that's why we're here for them. But with that being said, how you been, man? And what you been up to since the last episode when you were here?
Yeah, I had a great time last time, dude. And we were talking about UFOs but yeah, since then, dude, I've been just hustling artwork, dude. I do music as well. I do music on the side.
Right.
And just really pushing it, dude. I think now that we were in quarantine, it really allowed me a lot of time to focus in on projects I wanted to get done, kind of promoting myself on social media.
Right.
And really learning how to run my social media as an artist.
Right. Well, you know, again, one thing that I always say, especially on my other podcast, is that promote yourself until it pays off.
Right.
People either get tired and delete you, mm-hmm. or they will support you.
Right.
Either or. In any business, in a job, or whatever you do, you're always going to have your, what we call haters.
Right.
Really what they are is people that are jealous.
Yeah.
You know. But now, for those that may not have heard you on the last podcast when you were here, where can people go see your artwork, and where can people buy your artwork if they're interested?
Yeah. So I have 2 Instagram pages. My artwork Instagram page is The Art of Sammy Ruiz. It's at The Art of Sammy Ruiz. My music Instagram is Sammy Ruiz Music. But my main website, where I have both things going on right there, is www.theartofsammyruiz.com. Okay,
theartofsammyruiz.com. And you don't spell it any different. It's just regular. The art of. Okay.
Yeah.
I know your Instagram will be popping up, and your Instagram will be posted on the description of this podcast. So when people go and see it, when they look on the description, they can just click the link, and it will, you know, take them to your page. But, you know, one thing that I wanted to talk about, and the reason why is because this has been happening a lot. I want to talk a little bit about dreams. Mm-hmm. I want to talk a little about dreams. And I noticed that when I said that to you, when I brought that up to your attention, you actually said, it's funny you bring that up.
Yeah.
you know. So I kind of wanted to touch a little bit on that. But what I did, what I'm about to share is actually public knowledge, and I want to read what I found out, what a dream is, or what is the definition of a dream, and we'll use this kind of like a springboard to jump into what we want to share. Okay, so this is the definition that I found of a dream, and it says a dream is a succession of images, ideas, emotions, and sensations that usually occur involuntarily in the mind during certain stages of sleep. The content and functions of dreams are not fully understood, although they have been a topic of scientific, philosophical, and religious interest throughout recorded history. So scientific, philosophical, and religious, okay, throughout recorded history, okay. Now, so that means that they really fully don't, whoever wrote this, if you will, this definition of dream, they really don't know possibly why we dream, why we get these dreams, but we know that it happens.
Right.
And it's been happening throughout history.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this, that I do believe that some dreams do have meaning, and some dreams are just dreams, okay, are just, you know, I do believe that some dreams possibly could be warnings, meaning possibly pertaining to the future.
Right.
And that's what I want to talk about. For an example, let me share something with you that I have here on my notes. And I rarely ever honestly take notes. I pretty much have everything up here.
Yeah.
But I just want to share something. And for those of you, since this definition mentioned religious, I don't try to get too religious on people, but I just do want to share what I found. And it says this: for those that believe in God, cool. If you don't believe in God, then these are just a bunch of words. And it says God used dreams in the Bible many times to communicate his will, reveal his plans, and to announce future events. Now, when I saw future events, that really hit me, and I'll tell you why, and we'll come back to this. The reason why is because I've had dreams, and I could probably count maybe 6 times that I've had these dreams. I've had dreams that I've woken up terrified, possibly in a cold sweat, nervous, scared.
Yeah.
You know, a grown man scared, yes, you know, because you can't control your dreams.
Yeah.
You don't know when you're going to dream, and many times you don't know when you're going to wake up from a dream.
Right.
Okay. So with that being said, I've had dreams that I've things happen in my dream. I woke up terrified. You know, morning comes, have my breakfast, do what I gotta do. Then nightfall hits, I go back to sleep, and I have the same identical dream.
So it picks up.
It picks up
Yeah.
pretty much exactly the same dream. Whenever I've had those type of dreams, what I dreamt will usually happen on the 3rd day.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Yes. That's why I say I could probably count, 6 times.
Yeah.
How many times that's happened. And those dreams have scared me, have terrified me, because I've had dreams that I meet someone, I see someone, and we talked.
Yeah.
And a person that maybe I hadn't even seen since the 5th grade.
Dang.
Okay. We're talking about at least 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. At least. The next day, I'll have that same exact dream. And now I wake up like, okay, what is going on?
Yeah.
The next day, I run into that person, almost same scenario. And almost to the point where like, wow, this cannot be true.
Yeah.
This cannot be true. And it's almost, when I talk to that person, we almost had that same conversation, that I've had in my dream.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's probably people listening right now that possibly have experienced these things. And what I want to do eventually, when we open up the lines, if anyone has had those type of dreams where you actually dreamt something, and either you were warned, received a message, or it actually happened when you woke up, maybe the next day or the next week.
Yeah.
I want you to call and share those experiences. Now, Sammy, I don't want to do all the talking because I can talk. My thing is, have you experienced anything like that, which I just shared?
Yeah, I have. See, like you said, dreams are weird. It's a weird thing. From what I understand, I've done some research into dreams, and most, I guess, scientists or whoever has studied dreams, they're not quite sure what they are. Some people say it's our subconscious dreaming of what we're thinking about that day, and sometimes that is true. But I'll give you an example of why that's not true sometimes. For someone who has just lost a loved one, you would think that I would dream of that person almost every night because I'm thinking about that person every day, all day. But I don't. That's weird. I don't dream of that person. It's very rare. But I've dreamt of this person communicating with me in dreams and stuff. But I would say the weirdest one that I guess the weirdest dream that I've had was I foresaw an event. I got to change some names here so no one doesn't gets in trouble. But in the dream, there was two people. One person was related to me, and the other person was that person's one of their close friends. And in the dream, that close friend of the person that was related to me had betrayed the other my relative.
Wow!
Betrayed him, and there was like weapons involved, and it was a crazy dream. And I woke up and I explained what I dreamt of, and 2-3 weeks later, that event took place. That person got betrayed. I'm like, whoa, did I just foresee an event in my dream?
Wow.
It's weird, yeah.
Let me share this one that I've had. And this one was kind of freaky for me. But hey, the podcast is called Freaky Tales. I had a dream that I was at a friend's house and that he was looking for something that his father had left when he had passed away.
Yeah.
This is in my dream now. He was telling me his father passed away. And it's like the way I'm looking at you. This is the way he's telling me in my dream.
Yeah.
My father wrote me a letter, and it was for me to read when he passes away.
Yeah.
Except he hid it, and he never told me where it was at. The dream seemed, believe it or not, almost like 30 minutes long.
Yeah.
But in reality, probably was maybe a couple of seconds, because we don't know how long it lasts. Because in our dream, we could say, oh, it was an hour. It was 30 minutes.
Right.
It was 10 minutes. We don't really know actually how long it was. There's been times where I fell asleep and I checked, it was like 10:40.
Right.
And I've had this long dream and I woke up scared and I looked at my clock and it was 10:45.
See, time ceases to exist in dreams, huh?
Correct.
Yeah.
So the next night, I had the same exact dream. The only thing that was added to it was that I saw his father put it in a garage somewhere where he put it in a little drawer.
Yeah.
Where there was tools there. He kind of like put it there and kind of just like put tools because that's where he worked out of, his garage. Now keep in mind, I didn't know his father actually worked there in the garage.
Right.
This is just what I saw in the dream.
Yeah.
So a couple of weeks later, he calls me up. Hey, what are you doing? Having a barbecue. Why don't you come through, etc. Blah, blah, blah. We're just, we buried our father and I just want to throw a little get together.
Right.
I know you knew him, etc. Okay, cool. We go over there, and we're talking, having a couple of beers. We're eating carne asada, having maybe about 20 guys. He gets a little tipsy, and then he starts getting emotional and starts telling me, hey, you know what? Come here, let's go inside the house, man. He starts showing me his dad's pictures. I miss my dad. My dad was everything to me.
Yeah.
And then he tells me out of the blue, my dad left me something before he passed away. He wrote something. He says, I want you to read it. He said, when I pass.
Yeah.
He knew it was in the past. We all knew it was in the past. We just didn't know when. And he hid it, and I don't know where it's at, man.
Dang.
Now, how were I to look up? I said, I know where it's at.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I was like, wow. So I said, did your dad ever work out of the house?
Yeah.
I was trying to get him to open up.
Right.
And then he goes, yeah, he worked out of the garage. So I'm like, oh, no. We go in the garage, and it was just the way I envisioned it. Some things were a little bit different.
Yeah.
Like there was no car there, but there was a car parked inside this time. And then I said, well, if he worked here, wouldn't it make sense that maybe he left it here? He goes, no, I would have thought he left it, in my room or something like that. I said, no, I don't know. And I'm over here trying to tell him without trying to tell him.
Right.
So then I said, well, where did he work at? Usually, he worked right here. And that's exactly what I saw.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't see no drawer or nothing. So here's what I said. Why don't we just look around? I said, if it'll make you happy, I will help you.
Yeah.
So I looked, and I didn't see any drawer. But what I looked under, and he had taped it, and it was right there. It freaked me the hell out.
That's a trip, dude.
It freaked me the hell out. And I would, in my head, I'm thinking, I knew it. I freaking knew it.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking to myself, why did I have that dream? Who gave me that dream?
Right.
That's the freaky part about it. And I told him, I got to show you something, man. He said, if you work right here, why don't you look everywhere? Why don't you look under? Why don't you? And he saw it. I wanted him to find it.
Yeah.
You know, so he found it, and of course, it was he never told me the content of the letter, what it was written on there, but it made him tear up when he found it, because it was almost like that's his father all over again.
Right.
You know, so, but yeah, man, that was a tough one, you know, for me, because like, again, that was like number 2 dream.
Yeah.
Where I dreamt it twice. I don't know if you want to interject, or I could, you know, go ahead.
So after doing more research into dreams and stuff, I think we're seeing like an uprise in psychedelics. You know, like there's ayahuasca that puts you in another state, things like DMT.
Yes.
And as they're doing more research, it seems as if they're tapping into another, I guess like the multiverse.
Okay.
They're tapping into different things where they're able to see events like this or communicate with different people who they've lost. But it seems like, you know, when like those trips that people take with those DMT and ayahuasca, that's exactly what happens in certain dreams. But like you said, it's not all the time.
Right.
And they're connecting these kind of things to the pineal gland that releases DMT as well. So it's weird, man, how all these things are kind of tied in. And
yeah, you know, I've had dreams where maybe they weren't repeated twice.
Yeah.
But they scared the hell out of me, where they stay with me for about a freaking week or 2.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they just really, really freak me out.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that one. This was the first time that I actually dreamt something several years ago, and I didn't dream it the next day.
Yeah.
I dreamt it the other day exactly.
Really?
Yes. Every dream that is where something has happened was always back to back. Okay. But this one, we're talking about 10 years later.
Yeah.
And now I have the exact same dream. So let me just read something to you here. And it says this: dreams and visions, okay, I'm going to include visions in there, may also be a warning for us to change some things in our lives. If we are doing something wrong, or if we are going through the wrong path in our lives, it is possible that God will give us important instructions through dreams and visions. Okay. I believe that. I know some people may not believe that, but I've had dreams where I felt, you know, I'm not going to say 100%, but what I felt in my heart, that I was going down the wrong path, and God showed me possibly what my end would be if I continued.
Yeah.
And to me, I took that as a warning, like, okay, you know what, I need to chill. You know, of course, I was younger when I had these type of dreams, you know. But I will say this, and for our listeners, that I dream every single night. Sometimes I wake up terrified. Sometimes I wake up and they're good dreams. And there's sometimes I wake up and I don't remember my dreams at all until maybe the evening.
Right.
Then they don't come to me. But I dream pretty much every single night. Now, with that being said, I just want to touch on a little bit on a biblical story you can find in the book of Genesis. And I'm not trying to get all religious. One thing that I was told many years ago, that when you read the Bible, do not read it as a religious book. Read it as a history book, and that's the way I've always read it. So I've always had an open mind.
Right.
Okay. There was a story about a guy named Joseph, and I'm not going to get into the full story, but he was sold into slavery into the most powerful country in the world at that time, what we would call a world power, Egypt. Okay. We know Egypt by Pharaoh, etc.
Right.
And Joseph was thrown in jail, honestly, for false allegations. He was accused of doing something that he was totally innocent of. While he was in jail, he met 2 people that used to work for Pharaoh. One would make bread, the other one would serve Pharaoh wine. Both of them were accused of stealing a bracelet. So they threw them both in jail because Pharaoh didn't know who was who.
Okay.
Those 2 men had dreams. They were so bothered by it.
Yeah.
One was joyful, the other one was sorrowful. The joyful one said, I have a dream. And this guy said, tell it to me.
Yeah.
He's just a guy in a cell. And he tells him the dream, and he says, in a few days, your position will be restored and you'll be making bread once again, baking bread for Pharaoh once again. So he was joyful.
Right.
And then the other one said, well, here's my dream. And he shares the dream. And Joseph didn't want to share that dream because it was not a good one. And the guy said, you better tell me.
Yeah.
You know, not paraphrasing. And he told him pretty much, you're going to die because you're the one who did it.
Oh, shoot.
And he died.
Yeah.
What I'm sharing is that these dreams, if these stories are true, someone had the interpretation, and these were, if you will, future dreams or future events that were to take place. So some dreams, when we dream, could just be just dreams, or some of these dreams could be something pertaining to the future.
Right.
So now, these one of the men gets out. Pharaoh is very troubled, and Pharaoh says, I've had a dream, and it's bothering me. Mm-hmm. It's really, really bothering me. So he had all this, you know, if you will, tarot card readers, all this, you know, all these what we would call magicians, people that interpret, people that cast spells, people, whatever. And he told them the dreams, and they didn't have their interpretation, what it meant. Mm-hmm. So he has the same dream again, and he tells it to them, find me somebody that has the dream.
Yeah.
So now we have the baker that says, I know someone that interpreted my dreams, but he's just a Hebrew in prison.
Right.
And Pharaoh said, bring him to me. They bring him Joseph. Tells him the first dream that I saw 7 fat cows.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm just paraphrasing the story once again. You guys can read it. And what does this mean? And then he said, was there a second dream? That's what he said.
Yeah.
And Pharaoh said, yes. Did anybody tell you that? And he said, no. Mm-hmm. So he told him the next one. He said, these were 7 skinny cows. They were dying of hunger, you know. And he said, okay. And he said, God has revealed to Pharaoh what's going to happen. And he said, the 7 fat cows are 7 years of plenty. You're going to prosper for the next 7 years.
Oh, okay.
The 7 years soon after that, great famine is going to hit the land of Egypt.
Yeah.
Great famine. That's what that means. Now, so he's pretty much told them, prepare for those 7 years to stock up for these 7 years of famine.
Right.
Pharaoh made him his right-hand man over all the kingdom because he interpreted those dreams. Now, God gave Joseph that interpretation to give to Pharaoh. And with that, he was elevated, he was blessed, he was exalted. Okay.
Yeah.
With that being said, that those dreams were pertaining to the future. Mm-hmm. I believe, having said all that, that many times we can receive dreams and they can pertain to our future.
Right.
Possibly a warning or possibly something good.
Right.
Possibly something good. So do dreams mean something? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's my point. Maybe not all dreams, but there are certain dreams that really, really bother you. Honestly, seek out what those dreams mean.
Right.
You know, and eventually when we open up the lines, and if you guys had anything like this, then maybe you guys can share some things, because usually some of these dreams are very troublesome because Pharaoh had no peace.
Right.
He had no peace until he found what that meant. And he put Joseph in charge, and Joseph saw that for those 7 years that the land of Egypt prospered. And then the next 7 years, they were in great famine, but they were still prospering because they planned. They planned. So I know I talk too much, but I like to lay foundation on the things that we talk about because I find these topics very interesting.
It is interesting. And yeah, like you said, the Bible's full of those types of things,
Yes.
you know, receiving messages and dreams and foreseeing events. But like you said, yeah, sometimes it's not always something significant. Sometimes it is our subconscious. And I know I wake up sometimes. There's been a few times recently within maybe some of the last few weeks, I've been waking up like in terror, like sweating. And in my dream, I'm seeing this white-faced demon that just it keeps popping up. And what's weird is my daughter, she had said, she's like, hey, I had a dream that in your room, there is something really, really like an evil entity. And the dream, in my dream, I'm seeing that white-faced demon in my room. Like things like that. I was like, what? Like,
it's funny that you said a white-faced demon.
Yeah.
Because last night, my daughter shared that she just recently had a dream of a white-faced demon.
that is weird. Yeah.
Just recent, like this was last night that she told me. She comes home, I see her, and I said, hey, I heard you had a dream.
Yeah.
You know, because she had told everyone but me. And she said, yeah, you know, I've had this dream of a white-faced demon, and I couldn't really see the body. It was almost like from the chest up. Everything else kind of like looked like it dissolved. but I could see from the chest up, and it would just appear like it would flash here, it would flash there, it would flash there.
Yeah.
And I was terrified. It wouldn't go away.
Yeah.
It wouldn't go away. And she would tell me things like, this demon kept telling me messages about you, like, I'm going to get your father.
Really?
I'm going to get your father. And I was like, wow. You know, so hey, I did the right thing. And I said, did you have that dream twice? And
Yeah.
she said, no. You know, well, at least not tonight. Maybe tonight she would. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the reason why I believe biblically God gives us the dream twice for confirmation, meaning that it will happen.
That makes sense. Yeah.
At least for me, and I'm not saying this happens to everyone. I want to be careful when I say that. But at least for me, every time that I saw something happen that I dreamt it back to back.
Yeah.
The same exact dream. So if there's somebody out there that has had these type of dreams and it's come to fruition, where it's come to pass, please call and let us know when we bring up that number on our second half. But there's some other things that I want to bring up. Okay, since we brought up, I said dreams and visions. Okay?
Yeah.
I took some notes here. There was a point in the book of Numbers. There's Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. That's what we call, what most Jewish people would call the Torah, or the books of law, or the books that Moses wrote.
Yeah.
Okay. Some people say Torah or Torah, but those are the first 5 books. And in the book of Numbers, Moses' sister named Miriam and his high priest brother Aaron had a problem with him. So according to the story, it goes like this, that God called them 3, Moses, Aaron, and Miriam, into the tabernacle. And he spoke to them, and he said this, now he's speaking to Aaron and the sister, because they had a problem with Moses. Now keep in mind, Moses was God's man. Okay. He was God's mouthpiece here on earth, according to this story.
Right.
Okay. And he tells Aaron and Miriam, if there is a prophet amongst you,
Yeah.
I will speak to you in a dream or in a vision. That's what he said. He said, but not so with Moses. He said, I will speak to him face to face. That's what he said.
Wow. Okay.
Now we have to almost separate dreams, visions, and now we have face to face.
Right.
And it said, as a man would speak to his friend, meaning just like this.
Yeah.
Which I found that out to be amazing, that if this is true, Moses didn't have to dream. He could just speak to God face to face, the creator of the universe, if this story is true.
Right.
I found that out to be amazing, man.
You know what's interesting? Sorry to cut you off. I was doing some research on Moses and with the burning bush, how he said, I forget the exact details of the burning bush, but they say that the burning bush was a certain type of bush that had DMT. So, which of course puts you in a different state, and that's how he was able to talk to God face to face through that psychedelic.
Interesting.
That was interesting, yeah.
Yeah, I never heard of that, but there was a guy that said, I forgot what they call him. I saw him on a talk show, and the reason why I didn't take him serious, because he was just goofy and the way he conducted himself. But he was saying that burning bush was actually a weed plant and Moses was getting high. So, I mean, I just can't see Moses rolling up a blunt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
But I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. And it's interesting. But you know who actually touched a little bit on that? Another podcast where he uses either shrooms, acid, or whatever to almost enter that state.
Right.
And he said that that's the reason why he doesn't believe in God. Well, no, he said this, that he's an agnostic, meaning he doesn't admit it or he doesn't deny it.
Right.
He is somewhere still in the middle. The jury's out, and he's not sure if God exists, because when he enters that state of mind, that you're talking about,
right,
he sees things, and he believes that that's some of the things that the Bible's referring to. So that's why he says, I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's not true.
Yeah.
Had a friend, and I've shared this on this podcast before. He considered himself a born-again Christian. Okay. Went to church, danced, yelled, everything.
Yeah.
he took a trip to Africa. Now, this guy was just not a regular nobody. This guy graduated from a major university, okay, with honors, okay. Went to Africa. He said he got high out there in the jungle somewhere. I'm not sure exactly what part. And he said he started dancing and worshiping, and just like the way he did in church.
Right.
But they weren't worshiping God over there. He said they were just earth.
Right.
And he said he felt the exact same thing. He said at that moment, he had realized that the high was taking him to that other state of mind, or that other dimension, if you will.
Right.
So he figured there is no God out of those experiences. He said, how can I go to Africa, get high, worship earth, and feel the exact same thing?
Right.
Well, I can't explain that because I wasn't there. But I'm definitely not going to mess around and do something like that.
Yeah.
I know we are taught to have an open mind about all things. It's true. And I do believe that everything I share and you share, that people should research it. They just should not take our word for it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that's the smart thing to do. We need to use wisdom instead of just saying, oh, well, so-and-so said it. So what?
Yeah.
We don't know what he got his information from.
Right.
That one time I was watching, I want to say the Discovery Channel, and they were talking about the Bible, and brought up this one guy. And he said, right under his name said Bible scholar. You know what I did? I jumped on my laptop right away, and I found no information about that guy. All I found out was that he was on that show. Other than that, no school, no nothing where he got his education. Many times, I think some of those shows can be misleading simply because you're on a channel and they put Bible scholar.
Right.
You could have been some guy off the street that just throw on a suit, comb his hair, we'll put Bible scholar, and people would believe it.
Exactly.
How many times has the news said breaking news, and all of a sudden, oh my God, look what's going on?
Right.
We don't know if that's going on. I know you have something you want to share that you just recently heard on the news, but before you do, I want to share something just to prove my point. I was watching the news one time, and they said a bombing had just happened in Old Jerusalem. That's what they said. Now, we know things are always happening over there.
Right.
A suicide bomber runs into a bus, kills this many people. I had a friend who just happened to be there that day. He was there for the week. He was there spending time, friends, and had his wife with him. So I text him. He calls me back. Of course, there's an hourly difference. It was at night. And I said, hey, man, I just saw on the news that this has happened. Where are you guys staying at? Oh, we're staying in Jerusalem. They're saying that in Old Jerusalem, blah, 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 happened. He goes, can you rewind it, record it, and send it to my Facebook Messenger? I recorded maybe about 40 seconds of it, sent it to him, and said, that never happened here.
Really?
That never happened here. Okay? I understand when people say fake news.
Yeah.
Okay? And I'm not quoting Donald Trump. It's just that I just don't believe everything that they tell us, and we shouldn't. I know recently you were telling me that they're releasing info on the news about something that they're getting ready to come out with. Can you share a little bit about that, if you can remember?
Yeah. So some of the specific details are a little fuzzy, but I know the government's pretty much going to be releasing details about UFOs. They're going to be releasing, from what I've heard, some of the details that they've confirmed.
Okay.
And I know right now we're getting a lot of drops of information on the Air Force. The Air Force has been filming some of the stuff on their radar cameras and stuff.
Right,
but I'm curious to see what it's going to be. But like you said, at the same time, it seems like, are they trying to mislead us? Like, what's really going on? Why is like UFO stuff so much in the news right now?
Right.
It's strange. It's such a weird time.
Now, I will say this. I've had a lot of dreams that we're going to be visited.
Yeah.
Like a lot of freaking dreams. And the sad thing is that the visitation that we're going to get, according to my dreams, is not from out of this world. It's our own people here.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Now, I'm not saying, honestly, Sammy, that that's going to happen. And I'm not going to say that that's facts, because these are just dreams.
Uh-huh.
But I've had dreams that the visitation we're going to get is orchestrated by our own government here.
Okay.
Almost like deception.
Right.
Know, how you control, that's how you scare the people to doing what you want them to do. Okay?
Right.
I've had many, many of those dreams. And never had them back to back, though.
Yeah.
So, but with that being said, Here's my thing. The news has us where when we hear something like we're going to come out with it, here's what we always think. They're showing us while they're doing something behind our back.
Exactly. Yeah.
They have us thinking that.
Yeah.
You know, and then maybe that is true, but we've been so programmed to believe that they're just showing us this, but they're really doing something back here.
Right.
And maybe they are showing us and they're not doing something back here.
Yeah.
When do we know? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
We don't, because we've been programmed that way. But now, with that being said, I want to ask you, do you believe that there is, I guess I'll use the term that everybody uses for the podcast's sake. Do you believe that there are aliens in outer space?
I think right now I want to believe. I think the universe is so big, it would be a shame for us to be the only ones. Like, and you look at, different scientific facts, such as like planets that are in the Goldilocks zone, planets that can sustain life as we are, and there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them that they're finding now. It would seem as if there is, I would say if I could put money on it, that there is alien life out there, intelligent alien life.
Okay.
But do we have any hard evidence from what I found and stuff? Probably not. There's videos and stuff that are getting released by the Air Force of weird crafts. But we can't be so quick to say that they are from a distant galaxy.
Right.
Yeah.
See, and that's one thing that I'm all about facts. So before I say I believe, to me, there's just not enough.
Right.
Now, if I were to talk to the spice smuggler, which he will be here eventually, according to him, he has a bunch of proof.
Yeah.
He believes. I get it. And he's very smart. He's very intelligent.
Yeah.
But, using $20 words and being intelligent doesn't prove to me, that it's real.
Yeah.
I respectfully say that because, I love this guy. But I'm the, if you will, the optimistic, and I'm the skeptic, he's the optimistic. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm the skeptic. So, of course, we're always going to be like, well, I don't think so. Well, yeah, you got to believe. Show me proof.
Right.
Well, but it's all out there. So I'm curious to see what the government releases. Now, my question would be, why now?
Exactly.
Why now? That's what makes it sound like you want to throw in our face and do something behind our backs.
Right.
That's what makes me believe that, because you guys have kept this, the government has kept this on the low for so many years.
Yeah.
And now you want to, you want to come with it. I mean, you want to impress me. You don't have to, but show me an alien.
Right.
Yeah. Even if I got to pay for it, but I'll tell you what, speaking of aliens, I really, really enjoyed that movie, Signs.
Signs, yeah. That was a great movie.
It was a great movie. Yeah. I think one of the most shocking parts, and I seen this at a theater, was when they're watching TV and they finally see that alien walking the street and he presses pause.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Man, that one did scare the hell out of me.
That scared me too.
Or the one where Mel Gibson's with his son, he looks on top of the roof and he sees one of them on top of the roof.
Yeah.
It's see, many times we say, and I'm saying I'm guilty of this, I want to see. What if I really saw something and it just scared the living daylights out of me?
Right.
We don't know what we're asking to see, to be
Right.
quite honest with you, because it could be something horrific. It could be something like in that movie, Independence Day, where they kind of like communicate, like, what do you call that? Telepathy?
Yeah, telepathically.
Yeah. We don't know.
Right.
We don't even know if they could if they exist, if they could even control us by how they're thinking.
Right.
We don't know. So many times we say we want to see. For an example, I'll just give you a quick example. The Bible talks about angels, talks about cherubims, seraphims, archangels, and then just regular angels, messengers. Every time somebody, according to the scriptures, saw an angel, every time it says they were terrified, they fell on their face as if they were dead.
Wow.
Every single time. So when people tell me, oh, I seen an angel, they were in my room, you're a liar.
Right.
If the scriptures are true, every time these so-called prophets from the Bible saw them, they fell to their face terrified.
Yeah.
And according to these stories, these angels would touch them and say, fear not. And then the fear would go away because they knew they were good. Okay. But many times we say we want to see an alien. We want to see an alien. We don't know what we're going to see, or we don't know.
Just be careful what you wish for, huh?
Yes, exactly. Now, for me, if you were to twist my arm and ask me, do you believe in UFOs right now, I have to say no. There is some things that I do lean towards and say, you know what, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm like, the jury's not in. Maybe I do believe, maybe I don't, maybe I'm somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
But.
See, I always tell myself too, I'm like, although I want to really believe and I love, like, it's fun. It's very fun to look into that stuff. I'm like, it doesn't make it true.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. It's like saying, is Bigfoot real?
Right.
For something like that, I would love to see that.
Yeah.
We kind of know that he's going to be about a 6-7 foot tall, hairy Chewbacca looking guy.
Yeah.
But there's a show where people are looking for Bigfoot, and they climb trees, and then they hear a little branch moving. Oh, what I saw, it wasn't human, and it could have been a deer, bro. And then we're sitting there for a whole hour while these people look for Bigfoot. They're going to be there for season after season after season, and no Bigfoot yet.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you know where to look for him?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, every time I've gone to Colorado, there's Sasquatch sightings,
Yeah.
And you notice that all we have is the same old footage that where we start Freaky Tales with, that same old Bigfoot footage where he walks and he turns around and does the Heisman Trophy pose.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. But I want to believe that there's something else out there. But you said something very interesting. You said, it would be ashamed if we are the only life form here in this galaxy.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I want to ask you this, because for me, it wouldn't be a shame. If we are the only ones here, like, my thing is like, so what? Here's the way I think. We spend millions of dollars to go in outer space.
Right.
Millions of dollars, sometimes to look for some type of life form. But yet here, we spend millions of dollars to look for life form outside of Earth. But here on Earth, we're killing babies.
Right. Yeah.
I just think we're just investing the money in the wrong places.
Yeah.
That's it. We have life here, let's preserve it. But yet we want to spend millions of dollars to go look for life. And then they'll say, oh, we found a little drop of water or something. So what?
Yeah. I'd heard someone ask a question one time, and it really made me think. But they'd pretty much ask, and I'm kind of paraphrasing here, what's scarier, knowing that there's alien life out there, or knowing that we're the only ones? That really made me think. I'm like, wow. And if we're truly the only ones, not only is it scary, but it's equally a miracle. Like,
yeah,
we're it. Like, this is...
Yeah. And let's be honest. Look what we're doing to each other. For an example, I learned something, and I don't want to stay too long on this subject. I see the movie called Hotel Rwanda.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm trying to remember the two different tribes, the Tutsis and something else, where black people were killing each other.
Yeah.
Because the ones over here had bigger noses and the ones over here had smaller noses.
Right.
And according to the movie, that's what separated them, and they were killing each other.
That is crazy, huh?
It's really crazy.
Yeah.
Then you look at different nationalities, like, for an example, me being Mexican, okay?
Yeah.
There's division between white Mexicans and dark-skinned Mexicans.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't understand that.
Yeah.
We just have so many issues here that we need to take care of before we go out looking for a life form somewhere else. I get it that stuff is fun and we want to know, but to me, these things are more important.
I agree with you. It's like we're not tending to the issues at home while we're going outside and trying to fix everything else.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So with that being said, if there is, you know what, then I'm willing to learn, and I'm open-minded.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see what the government's going to release. My thing is, once again, when did they feel like, okay, it's time to show the people?
Right.
And why now?
Right.
I think those are more important questions. I'll tell you what, one thing that I would love to know, who built the pyramids?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
There's, like you said before, on the topic of the the alien documents being released, it's really important for people to research and dig, just the media spoon feeding us just all this information, but we can't take it at face value. We have to go research it, and
Right.
I try to do as much as I can for that. You know what I'd found too, that the CIA, the website, has a lot of documents that we could actually read.
So it's public knowledge.
Yeah, a lot of it's public. And one of the trippiest documents that I came across was documents on remote viewing. Have you ever heard of that? Remote viewing? It's
Very little. I'm sorry. Very little.
Pretty much what it is, to kind of summarize. It's when people say, for example, if I got a piece of paper and a pencil or pen, just a blank paper, and I close my eyes and I just drew on that paper anything that came to mind. But I used my senses. So if I smelled something spicy, maybe I would draw like a jalapeno, or
Right.
If I kind of seen pink, I would maybe write pink or color the word pink. But with this, what they were able to do is see, for example, I think they were spying on Russia to see what they had like in secret, like little areas that were missiles or whatnot. But they also did this with Mars, from what I understand. They were finding pyramids on Mars, weird things on Mars.
Wow. Wow. That's interesting. Here's my thing. I know that we are probably the only planet, and I say probably because I don't know, maybe you could help me out. And I'm sure there's probably people out there a lot more educated in this area than me, and I'm willing to learn. If somebody's willing to call and share, I'm willing. I have my ears open. But best believe that I will do my own research as well. Are any of those planets even livable?
From what I read on some of the people that study like the exoplanets and stuff, they have said that there's a few different planets and different galaxies that are within, like they would call the Goldilocks zone. So pretty much the same distance that Earth is from the sun for human life to sustain life. They say that there is planets like that out there. And if there was life, they could detect different like carbons and stuff like that, which they're looking into now. But that's to say that life out there is like us, maybe it could be something else, some other different type,
Here's something interesting that I just want to drop in your guys' ears. Okay. When I share stuff like this, I don't say this or share this to try to be a religious person. I just share what I've learned, what I've read, and I just share it for people to listen to it and then do your own research about it.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do. Okay. Here's my thing. I'm a firm believer that there is intelligent design, that there is a God.
Yeah.
That there is a God that created everything. That's what I believe. People don't have to believe that. That's fine. But let me share something. In everything that I've learned, I came to believe in something as powerful as a seed. For an example, if we were to cut open an apple and we take a apple seed.
Yeah.
Within that seed, here we have an entire tree. We have bark, we have roots, we have leaves, we have branches, and we have other fruit with seed in it.
Right.
All within that one seed. As I began to do a study on seeds, I realized that from the very beginning, everything that God created, God put seed in it. For an example, just what I just said, fruit.
Right.
You can eat it, take the seed, replant it, and it'll feed you again.
Yeah.
Okay? He did the same thing with animals. He put seed in animals so that they can reproduce again.
Right.
Okay? He put the same thing in us.
Yeah.
In a man. Obviously, the woman has the egg, the man has the seed. You plant it, if you will. You can reproduce. You have a family.
Right.
Everything that God had created was created to reproduce itself.
Yeah.
My question is, and I think just interesting, maybe it's just my crazy mind, if there is alien life form outside of this earth, how do they reproduce, or do they?
That's an interesting question. Because like if we think of aliens like in movies, their little bodies, from what we could tell in the movies, they don't have any organs, any organ parts. They have big heads. They communicate telepathically. But yeah, at that point, do they reproduce? It doesn't seem like it. It's strange, huh?
Yeah. In the book of Genesis, in chapter 1, By the way, the name Genesis, that's a Greek name. The Hebrew name is Bereshit, which simply means in the beginning. So that means in the beginning, God put seed in everything. And every time the earth did what it was supposed to do, he would say, it was good. And it was good.
Right.
And it was good every time. The only time he said, and it's not good, was when he saw that man was alone. So he created woman. He pulled something out of the man. People say the rib, but in the original Hebrew text, it never actually said rib. It said he pulled something out of man, caused a deep sleep come upon him, and he created woman. So now man can reproduce just like everything else.
Yeah.
Okay. I said that to say this because you said that every time we see these aliens or whatever in movies, they have no organs.
Right.
That's pretty crazy, okay?
Yeah.
They have no organs, at least in the movies. And we're just talking about movies. We don't know if they do in real life or if they exist.
Right.
Okay. But I said that to say this, that, yeah, we have organs, and yet we got people cutting them off.
Yeah.
That's freaky.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard some celebrities say, you know what, I'm going to cut it off, and I don't want to be considered a boy or a girl.
Right.
I don't want to be put in a box. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems as if we're almost going towards becoming the aliens, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's very, very true. But with that being said, you know what? We're going to go ahead and take a 5-minute intermission break. I'm going to give me something else to drink. I don't know if you want a water, but what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and open it up for phone calls.
Cool. Okay.
I know we've been having a discussion. We opened it up with dreams. We talked about aliens. We talked about seed. We actually talked about pyramids. So if there's anything, or future events, we even talked about scripture. If there's anything that might have intrigued you throughout this conversation, then call us eventually when we open up the lines. I know a lot of people tell me, I want to call. Please try to keep your question or whatever you want, or your story you want to share, no more than maybe 2 to 3 minutes. And if you care for us to elaborate on it, we will. If not, just share your story, you know. Or if you have a question for Sammy Ruiz right here, you can ask him, maybe pertaining to his art, maybe they didn't catch your website or whatever, you know. So call us when we open up the lines, and we'll be happy to accept your calls. So with that being said, we're going to take a 5-minute intermission break, and we'll be back in 5 minutes. Thank you very much. Welcome back, everyone, to a Freaky Tales podcast on this Freaky Friday. I would like to thank everybody who has tuned in, everybody who subscribed, everybody who's liked, everybody who shared, everybody who's on the chat line. I just want to say what's up to everyone out there. Hopefully you guys are having a great time. I'm glad things are starting to open up, and I'm glad that you guys are still tuned in. I greatly, truly appreciate it. Hopefully that this platform grows. I know we don't have no more than maybe 23, 24 episodes, if I'm correct, but hopefully once things starts opening up a little bit more, and I'm able to book more guests and time allows me to, I will go back to every Friday like we did before. But as of right now, we're only going to do every other Friday. And yes, the Spy Smuggler will be in the building eventually. So with that being said, we have never had a meet and greet yet with Freaky Tales, but maybe not anytime soon. But I will say this, that May 14th through the 16th, if I'm correct, in Pasadena, there will be Monster Palooza. For those of you that are interested, I will be there walking around. I'm not going to be, I'm not going to have a booth. But if you just want to come up and say, hey, what's up, Tony? I love Freaky Tales. That will be the place. I will announce eventually on the Freaky Tales page, if you guys want to follow us, at Freaky Tales Podcast on Instagram, that's where I will give all the details. And hopefully soon I will open a Freaky Tales TikTok as well. But Monsterpalooza, May 14th through the 16th, I will announce what day I will be there. If you guys want to come out and see me walking around and take a picture or just buy me something to eat, I'm willing. So with that being said, Mr. Ruiz, you attend Monsterpalooza, correct?
I do. Yeah, I go almost every year. That's one of the shows that I've never set up at with my booth, but I do one called Midsummer Scream.
Okay.
Which I unfortunately got postponed till next year again.
Really?
Yeah, that one they pushed back. But in December, the same event promoters, they're going to be having one at the Pasadena Convention Center where Monsterpalooza happens. It's going to be called Season Screamings.
Dope.
Which is like a Christmas theme kind of horror.
Okay, well, please keep me posted because I know that they have Monsterpalooza and then Son of Monsterpalooza.
Yeah, the Son of Monsterpalooza is in Burbank. That one's a little bit smaller, but it's still cool to have the celebrities signing autographs.
Yes, it's really cool. And for those of you guys that have never gone, I mean, you'll see Linda Blair there.
Yeah.
You know, she's there, The Exorcist. You see a lot of people, you know, that were in the Halloween movies, you know.
Yeah.
You see a lot of those people. You meet, I think last time I met Bela Lugosi's either brother or his son. You know, I'm not sure who it was that I met, but it was somebody related to Bela Lugosi, the Dracula.
Yeah.
You know, of the black and white movies.
I did the Comic-Con, the one in downtown LA, and
Okay.
I was set up right in front of his. It's actually his son.
His son, he's very old now.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
But he looks like him. It's crazy, huh?
Please keep me posted on some of those events because usually I usually have friends that tell me, but I haven't been in contact with them. The one that I was never able to get into was the San Diego one, the Comic-Con.
Oh, the main one.
The main one. I mean, that's like the Super Bowl of Comic-Cons, if you will, or cons.
Oh, yeah.
You know. But with that being said, I know that there was something that you wanted to touch on or talk about, a certain movie, if I'm correct.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of these conversations we're having about, you know, possible alien life and stuff, it gets me thinking, and I start I almost get anxiety sometimes because the thoughts are so big, like wow.
Right.
But it got me thinking about this. My all-time favorite movie is a movie called Interstellar.
Interstellar.
Yeah, with Matthew McConaughey. It's directed by Christopher Nolan. But in the movie, it's very interesting. It's in the beginning they talk about ghosts and stuff, but what they kind of cover is the aliens. We are the aliens.
Really?
Pretty much just traveling back in time. It's a crazy concept, but it's
pretty interesting.
It's very interesting. Yeah.
Okay, so you'll definitely recommend it.
Yeah.
You know which one I really enjoyed, to be quite honest with you, and I just saw it the other day. It's kind of freaky. Prometheus.
Oh yeah, that's the Alien prequel.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Is that what it? Oh, it was the. See, you know what? Mm-hmm. Wow, I'm glad you mentioned it because I didn't know that it was the Alien prequel.
Yeah.
I mean, I know at the very end you see the actual alien, but I didn't know that it was the actual prequel. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm dumb for not knowing that, but that was a dope movie.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
Now, according to that movie, everything started with them, and if you will, they planted us, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they. You know what? And my father, to a certain extent, believed that for a while, that they planted us, that we are a descendants of alien life form.
Yeah.
You know. And the sad thing is that he would read something and excuse me, he would read something and then say, "Look, it says right there," and I'm like, "That's a magazine."
Yeah.
You know. So.
That's what they say. I think there's a lot of different scientists that I read sometimes, and they say that we're a product of panspermia. Pretty much what that means is we came from another planet. Mm-hmm. So they talk about us possibly descending from Mars. And one way that would happen is say if an asteroid or a comet hit Mars and a big chunk of Mars flew off and seeded Earth with our
Right.
DNA and our genes
Right.
and stuff.
You know, but one thing that people that believe, let's just say, the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
There was a Big Bang, and then, eventually Earth was formed. Mm-hmm. Okay. For people that believe that, I always ask, to have a Big Bang, you have to have stuff. Where did that stuff come from?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Then some people say, oh, gas. Okay, where did the gases come from? Mm-hmm. We could, and then when they don't know, they just add another zero. Well, billions of years ago, and that's all they say.
Yeah.
I've talked to plenty of atheists, and here's the majority of their answers when you ask them a question that they cannot answer. Now, I want people to listen to this because this will ring a bell. Well, where did life come from? Then they'll say, well, many years ago there was a bang, and then Earth was formed over billions of years ago, and then water and slop mixed together, and then something crawled out of the water and then formed, and there was a duck and then a monkey, and then we came after billions and billions of years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's my thing. Every time I ask them a question that they couldn't answer, they say possibly, could have, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Every time. Possibly, could have, maybe, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Those are their answers. There's nothing like concrete about their answers.
Yeah.
But yet they have degrees, and that's what makes them look almost like they know.
Yeah.
But they don't know. So I asked this one person, whatever crawled out of the water, you said something crawled out of the water, mm-hmm. and then it lived, and it eventually, over billions of years, it formed something else.
Right.
Okay. Here's my thing. When it came up out of the water, did it have lungs or did it have gills? Because if it had gills, it couldn't survive outside of the water.
Right.
If it had lungs, it couldn't have survived in the water. Then they would just say, well, it possibly had both.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, was it male or female? It possibly had both organs. Well, if it's only a male, how would it reproduce itself? So possibly, could have, maybe, I don't know. That's their answers. But it sounds good when they have a degree and they're telling ignorant people that are not willing to challenge them.
Right.
I ask a lot of questions, and I always say this. I may look dumb, but I'm not dumb.
Right.
So with that being said, I don't believe that we're descendants of alien life forms. I just believe that I go back to the very beginning. I do believe that there was Adam and Eve. Now, I know today that story for many people is outdated. Well, we don't believe that. We believe this. We believe we came from crystal backs or whatever you guys want to say. Mm-hmm. But that's just what I believe.
Yeah.
So, other than that, you talked about, so the movie was called, once again?
Interstellar.
Interstellar. Okay. And the movie that I'm talking about is Prometheus. It's actually very, very interesting. Any other movies that you could recommend that you found very interesting? And while you're thinking about that, let me share the one I thought was very, very interesting, and I felt that it was going up, and then it just went down. Was Contact with Jodie Foster.
Contact, yeah.
Great, build up.
Yeah.
And then she just drops, I'm like, okay, I get it that she went into another dimension and was there several hours.
Right.
But in our time, it was just seconds.
Right.
I think to a certain extent, dreams are like that.
Yeah.
It
makes you think, that time is a man-made construct. That if you really think about it, time might not exist.
Yeah. I think, and I say I think, because I don't have nothing to prove this, that when a person passes away and they go into eternity.
Yeah.
Again, we're taught there's a heaven, there's a hell. The way the Bible talks about it is that when it talks about eternity, meaning that it is forever.
Right.
There is no time there.
Right.
Here we live in time. If we were to draw, a line, a linear line, we could put right here where I was born, the present, and possibly where I would end.
Right.
Okay. That's how we see time.
Yeah.
But outside of, if you will, this dimension, outside of our life when we pass, I believe that there is no time.
Yeah.
That's why they say eternity, almost like if time stands still in a sense.
Right.
So, but that's for a different subject. That was a conversation that I was having with the spice smuggler, but he's not able to make it yet because I'm pretty sure he's probably still smuggling spices. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and throw the number up there. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I was going to give you an opportunity if there was something to share while I was sharing that. But if it doesn't come to you, then we can just take phone calls. So, Alex, go ahead and put up that number. And as soon as we get some phone calls, we'll take them. Give us time. And please turn down your television, because many times there's a delay from the time you see this. There's possibly like a 10-second delay, and that's fine. But when you get, when we get a call, we'll take it. Give us time to put on our headphones, and then we'll hear your story or answer your question.
Yeah.
No more than 2 or 3 minutes long if you have something you want to share. So the number's on the screen. if you're seeing it now, go ahead and call, and we'll be told when we have a call. We'll answer it, and we'll try to give you as best as feedback as possible. We've been talking about dreams. We talked about aliens. We talked about alien visitation. We talked about the pyramids. We talked about multiple things. Or if you just want to call and ask about his art, or where can you find it, you can call. So with that being said, until we wait, let us continue our conversation. Now, do you have friends that truly believe like an alien life form?
Yeah, I got a lot of friends who are just like full in. They're just believers no matter what you throw in front of them.
Right.
And that could be dangerous, you know?
Yeah, it could be dangerous. Okay, we have a call. Let us go ahead and give us a little bit of time. Caller, where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Darlene. I'm calling from Portland, Oregon.
Portland, Oregon. How are you tonight?
I know that this is the topic that you guys were talking about aliens, but I was watching your last video that you had uploaded, and I think you had like kind of brought something up about black magic, so I wanted to share a story about that. So I know this guy, and he is he was like super cool, super popular, like he had lots of friends, and he was very outgoing. And then all of a sudden, he just like became like a super like introvert, just kind of weird, like didn't really want to like talk or hang out with people anymore. And everybody was just kind of like what happened to this guy, you know? And one of his close friends had told me that his family was into like black magic and all that. And he had a couple, like the guy who like, you know, kind of changed how he was. He had a couple friends over at his place, and he was living with his parents. And some of his mom's money had gone missing. And she was like, who took the money? And no one said anything. And she was like, well, that's fine, because I'm going to put a curse on whoever took it.
Wow.
And the next thing you know, this guy like ends up just kind of switching and turning like kind of crazy. So everybody was like, dang, well, he must have been the one that took the money, because he completely like switched and just kind of turned a little crazy after that.
Wow.
So I was just wondering, like, what do you think? Do you think black magic stuff is real?
I truly do believe that it is real. I think a lot of people, look, I had a friend that got involved in that, and he clearly told me when he left it that he was very intrigued. He was, these were his words, I got turned on by the power. Those were his words. He didn't really elaborate much. He said it was all fun, you know, in the very beginning. But he said things started to get worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
And when I say worse and worse and worse, where he actually didn't have any peace, he noticed he started getting anger problems. He started turning to drugs. And then eventually he was being dragged out of his bed.
Yeah.
You know, and he had realized that, he found out that when he would do something or cast a spell or a curse or whatever they did to someone, they know that it comes back to them.
Right. Yeah.
So that he told me, so you better be careful if you're going to get involved in that, because you have to know that if you do something towards someone, it's going to come back to you. So it better be worth, you know, what you want to do to that person. And again, he shared with me other stories, but yes, it's not something that I would encourage anybody to dabble in, because, you know, I like to say we don't know what's on the other side. We don't know what they're dealing with.
Yeah.
You know, so
even something as far as thought too, like say for just an example, if I hated someone and I'm always thinking of that person, I want them to receive the worst things in life. Even that, we got to be careful with that, because the power of thought's very, very, very powerful.
I truly do believe that, because, I mean, and just to share a little bit about that, you can live in anger and in misery for years hating that person, you know, and really you're the one paying for it.
Exactly.
So yes, I do believe that stuff is real. So.
Well, thank you so much, Tony. Love your videos, love your shows. You're awesome. Have a great one.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a blessed night.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and leave that number up there, and hopefully somebody else calls. And, you know what? I'm glad that she touched on something that she said, this was something on your last show. Even if it pertains to the last show, you can call and ask. and it could be anything. So with that being said, we have another caller. Caller, are you there, and where are you calling from? Hello, caller.
Hi, this is Spy Smuggler calling in from Chico, California.
Spy Smuggler, how are you tonight?
I am doing fine. I wanted to call in and apologize to the fans watching the show that I couldn't make it. I'm very sorry. I'm stuck out here in Northern California working, and it's impossible to get a day off until the end of this month.
Okay, yes, because people have been asking, and I don't want to look like a liar, so I'm glad that you called and that you're sharing with us. I know there's a lot of things that you want to share. Maybe you can share just a little bit of what can people expect when you fly out.
Well, I'm shooting for the end of this month. I'm trying to get 4 days off. As you know, I work for the government. I do disaster relief, and I work 6 days a week. I know you don't like it, but I'm going to name some celebrities. I'm going to kind of do a tell-all type deal. I will watch my P's and Q's. I won't burn my bridges because it's kind of scary when you get too deep into this. And believe me, there's days I chew my fingernails wondering, should I say this? Should I let the cat out of the bag? Maybe I'll ruin myself, trying to do what I plan on doing.
Right.
And avoid mentioning celebrities. But, I want to release this information. I want to say what I want to say.
Okay. I know we were planning, just to let the people know, a possible doubleheader, a two-nighter, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I have, if people are not familiar with John Lear, Google search John Lear. I had a personal friendship with him. Him and I corresponded, and I have stacks of John Lear letters of information. And John Lear is a good friend of Bob Lazar, who reverse engineered UFOs at Area S4, Area 51. And I have letters I want to read on the show, which will make for a great episode, man. I'm really eager to read those letters on the show.
Great. I know we were talking about possibly doing a Friday and a Saturday night back-to-back because you're not going to be able to be out here much. But so we were trying to give the people a treat and possibly do 2 shows back-to-back or possibly even a Thursday, Friday. We haven't decided yet, but we can still talk about it and decide whether we're going to do that or not. But we will definitely keep the people posted.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm shooting for the end of this month. I think it's Memorial Day, if I'm not mistaken. I'm requesting an extra 2 days off so we can get deep into it. And I'm excited. I'm pumped up, and I'm really happy the fans are viewing and watching, and it's awesome. I like what you're doing, Tony. It's great, and keep up the great work.
Awesome. Listen, you have a blessed night, and hopefully you don't get abducted anytime soon because we need you here.
Oh, I'll save the jokes for later.
Okay.
You know that, you ever heard that one saying, you can fill the planet Uranus with 100 Earths.
Okay, we'll save the jokes for another podcast. But, all right. You have a good night, and we'll talk soon.
All right. You got to mention and have some kind of humor on the show. Don't be so serious.
Absolutely.
Have a great night.
You too. Good night.
Bye.
Okay.
Yeah, John Lear, he's an interesting character.
Yes.
He's, like he had said, he is connected to Bob Lazar, the whole UFO community.
Yes.
So I'll be tuning in for that one. That's interesting.
Yeah. Maybe you may want to come and ask my brother questions. He's a character.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very well educated. I'm still a skeptic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's okay. We're the opposites. But he's very, very intelligent. And we have another caller. Caller, where are you calling from, caller?
National City.
National City. How are you doing tonight?
Great. How are you doing?
Good. So what do you want to share with us, or do you have a question?
I want to share.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, do you want to know what I want to share?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, God. I'm on the air. Now I see. Duh.
Okay, yeah, I want to share. Hi, this is anonymous in National City. One time in the 80s, I was driving home after being at a friend's house, and it was like 4:30 in the morning, and I drove to the end of the street, and I had to make a U-turn. So when I was U-turning, my headlights flashed down in this dark path, and I could see the silhouette of like a green army jacket and some skinny legs, and it whistled at me, this high-tone whistle. I'm like, I don't know anybody at that time in the morning, so I just came in and parallel parked. And then I was parking, and I could see my rearview mirror. It's standing under a street light, looking down at me. Not looking down at me, I'm sorry. The street light was down on them, or it, and it was standing in the street with its head turned toward me, just staring at me, not moving. And I didn't want to take my eyes off it because I didn't know what it was. So I just backed it and backed in, and it was still standing there. And I thought, oh man, either I can run in the house, and it's probably going to kill me, but to be killed by something like that,
Right.
it's even worse. So I sat in my car, and I just had to hurry up and decide, well, I'm just going to make a run for it to the door. Because if I get killed out there by this thing, it gets me, then at least I put up a fight and somebody will kind of know what happened.
Yes.
Because nobody would believe this. So I ran to the door, and I took a chance, and I ran, and I made it to the door. And I went in, my sister was sleeping on the couch, and I went straight to my bed and huddled up and just didn't look out the window or anything. But then the next day I couldn't remember. I could remember all the details of what happened, but I couldn't remember the face. I was like in shock. I was in shock. I could remember everything else. When it came time to remember the face, I just couldn't remember. And this went on for like 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And then one day I was looking in the newspaper, and it started showing these drawings that people had made of things that they'd seen that they didn't think were human. And and then it just clicked that that's what I saw.
Wow.
Exact same thing. And then it jogged my memory, and I remembered. And I was really scared. And I was so scared, like so scared.
Where was this taking place? Where you live at now?
Yes, in National City, California. It was in the 80s.
And you said
I was wanting to tell that story. And pardon me?
No, you said you saw some of the stories in the newspaper. Now, just to ask, you wouldn't happen to have...
Yeah, and that's what jogged... Oh, no, I've been looking for the newspaper. It was in this local newspaper or the San Diego Union.
Okay.
And I've been looking for the pictures of it. And then they were saying that those pictures were some other people across the United States or wherever. They were all seeing the same things around the same time, and they all looked the same in the drawings. And it looked just the same thing as I saw. Well, to this day, I can remember like it was yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, did anybody try to describe what it was or what they thought it was or who it was?
They were saying that they thought they were aliens from outer space. They were aliens.
Wow.
That's what the article was about.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm still in. Wow. Well, thank you for calling and sharing that great story with us. I'm glad you were able to share and take your time out of your Friday.
I hope it makes sense.
Yes.
Thank you. And I love your podcast. I love it.
Thank you very much.
And I
Greatly
have a lot of
appreciate
other stories I can tell, but not now.
Well, you can call
And
back
hi to your
anytime.
guest. Hi.
Thank you. Have a blessed night.
Thank you.
Wow. So I guess we have somebody from the 80s, and she's been wanting to share that for a while. So I'm glad that people are calling in and sharing these stories. Like, once again, it could be about any topic. It could be about a past topic. Caller, are you there? Hello, caller. Where are you calling from?
Hey, how you doing? My name's Juan. I'm from Glendale, Arizona.
Glendale, Arizona?
Yeah, Glendale, Arizona.
Nice. I like Arizona. I've been there many times throughout the years.
Hell yeah. I wanted to share a story that actually I just called my dad right now and asked him if it was alright if I share the story that happened to him when he was younger.
Yes, please.
So it was around the So he was 15, and so he was born in 1977. So he was probably about 92.
Okay.
So he said that him and his homie at the time, they were in a stolen vehicle, right? And his homie was driving. He said his homie was like 13, 12. And they ended up cops ended up going on him. And, they're little kids, so they can't drive like good, right? And his homie ended up crashing. And they ran through this cornfield. Because in Glendale, there used to be a cornfield between Glendale and Northern. But it's not cornfield no more, but it used to be like big area of cornfield.
Yes.
So they said they were running through the cornfield. He said, if you ever run through a cornfield, you just get smacked in the face and whatnot. So he said he was running there, getting smacked. And they ended up probably in the middle of the cornfield, like a road or whatnot.
Yes.
Or so he said that they got to they got to that area, and they were like huffing and puffing and whatnot. And my dad said he had a pack of smokes on him, and he wanted to smoke, but they didn't have a lighter because they just took off from the car and started running. So he said that they were like puffing and puffing, and he wanted to smoke. And his homie, they ended up like they were like looking around because they're paranoid and like the helicopters and all that. But he said that on the tree stump and in the middle of the cornfield, little area where the cornfield's knocked down and whatnot, that they see someone sitting down right there, with hair over her face, kinda.
Yeah.
All black, and his homie they were young and they like animals and whatnot. He's like, hey, I'm gonna ask that bitch right there. Excuse my language. He's like, I'm gonna ask her right there, for a lighter. So they were like, hey, excuse me, you have a lighter? And so she didn't say nothing, but she put her hand up, and a light came up, she lit the lighter. So my dad went over there with the cigarette in his mouth, and when he went to light when he went so close, he noticed that it was her finger lighting the lighter. I mean, it was he thought it was a lighter, but it was a finger,
Oh, wow.
with fire. Yeah, and so when he went like that, he was and he hit it. He said when he turned, he said that girl looked up and she had the reddest eyes he ever seen, and he's all by the time he turned around, that his friend was already running. He was already running. He's like, what's that? So he said that he just dropped the cigarette and he just started running to the cornfield again. But yeah, I just wanted to share that story because
Wow.
and it's crazy because he don't even believe in that stuff that happened to him,
Right.
So
Thank you for calling.
yeah,
man.
I just want to share that story because it's pretty crazy,
Yes. Thank you for calling. You know what? And that's not the first time I've heard someone seeing someone's face, look into their eyes, and their eyes were as a fire, almost like.
Yeah, and it was crazy because. What?
No. It's almost like lighting a lighter, and the tip of it is like flickering, but they were sideways. The eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's to be, and it's crazy because it reminds me of the time you were saying when you're in that stuff, that stuff happening, you're doing that,
Yeah.
I remember seeing a couple episodes back when we were talking about that. So yeah, I just want to share that experience. I appreciate you, Tony.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Glendale, Arizona, man. Stay blessed. Have a blessed night.
Yeah, right on.
Okay, we're good. We're gonna keep. Yeah.
Possible witch, huh?
Something.
Yeah.
Something. It's hard to explain, but it's not something that I want to come across. And we have a caller. Sammy, go ahead and take this.
Oh, thank you for calling. Would you like to share a story?
Hi. Well, yeah, I don't know, share a story, but kind of ask a question more.
All good. Where are you calling from?
Pasadena.
Is this Mandy?
This is Mandy.
No.
Good, Mandy.
It's me. Well, I wanted to go. Oh, yeah, I just wanted to go back to when y'all were talking about dreams, and then you were talking about, Sammy was talking about hallucinogens and psychedelics.
Yes.
I didn't know if you wanted to share the story of, what was his name, Paul Stamets?
Yeah. So Mandy is my girlfriend.
Okay.
And Mandy, we have these conversations all the time about just deep things. And we were talking about this dude named Paul Stamets, who's a scientist. He studies mushrooms.
Okay.
And he said he took a heavy dose of mushrooms one night. And he had this dream where that involved cattle and like a flood. It was crazy, but he foresaw an event. But Mandy, you could probably tell it better, huh?
No, you could probably tell it better because I was kind of forgetting the details.
But pretty much it just tied into how hallucinogenics help you get, he thinks he tied into he entered into the multiverse.
Okay.
Yeah. Where you
the multiverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know who else talks a lot about that? But it seems like he pushes that? Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Big time.
The psychedelics and all that stuff.
Big time psychedelics. Yep. So, you know what? I'll just stick to my dreams because I've known some people that have taken mushrooms and never came back.
Yeah.
So maybe they took a bad dose or they were rotten or something. So.
See, I mean, you also brought up DMT earlier, and that's something else you can bring up because you don't have to take mushrooms, you don't have to use hallucinogens because our mind already produces DMT naturally.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's enough to even help your own trip.
Yes, you're right. You're right. Well, thank you for calling, Mandy.
Thank you, Mandy.
Yep.
Have a blessed night.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Mandy.
You too.
Yeah, that's something. It's interesting to learn about, but that's something I won't do. I don't think I'll take it.
I know. And I've known people that didn't come back. It's almost like they were like on pendejo 24/7, like they just were not there anymore. And, I because there's a lot of guys that just a lot of people in general that just test out, I'll try it.
Yeah.
I'll try it. And they're not the same anymore. Mm-hmm. I mean, I met guys that almost like braggingly admitted taking every drug possible. And they're really not the same anymore.
Yeah.
Guys that told me, oh, yeah, I tried crystal, I tried heroin, I tried mushroom, ayahuasca, and I peyote, and your body is not a trash can, man.
Yeah.
You only get one body, you only get one chance, and what you do with it is up to you.
Right.
So with that being said, once again, the phone lines are open. I know there's people out there trying to get through. People that tell me all the time, man, I can't wait. I want a phone call. Well, right now is your opportunity. I had somebody that called me during the week. Are you doing freak shows? Yeah, I'm going to call. I got a story I want to share. Okay, well, here's your opportunity. So if not, then we're going to keep it pushing and we're going to keep sharing. But we're going to give it just a little bit and see if we get a phone call.
And also, too, I forgot to mention on the caller before, the Arizona one, the possible shapeshifter.
Yes.
I'd seen stuff like that, different pictures, almost like mugshots. You know how the police draw like the descriptions of what the person looks like?
Right.
It was the same person that kept popping up in different areas. That does tie into, like shapeshifters. And
Now, for people that may not know what a shapeshifter is, can you just, in general, give us a small little brief of what a shapeshifter is?
So I'd heard, because I've always wondered too, I'm like, what is it exactly? Do they turn into something else? And
right.
I'd heard through another person telling a story that they'll look normal, they'll look just human, but they'll look away for a moment and look back, and their face is different, just completely different. Yeah.
Yes.
For like a moment. Yeah.
You know where I first seen that on a TV show? It was called Grimm. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Grimm.
That sounds familiar. Yeah.
Oh, it's really good. It's 6 seasons, and I've seen every single one. I have yet to see another season in its entirety like I did Grimm. I actually went out and bought the Blu-rays for every season. And around September, because to me Halloween is September and October.
Yeah.
And I watch it starting from September all the way to October. To me, September and October is Halloween for me. So, but yeah, that's, by the way, for people that may not know, that's my favorite holiday. So
Halloween, yeah.
Yeah. So we have a caller. Caller, are you there? And where are you calling from?
Santa Ana.
Santa Ana is in the building. How are you tonight?
Pretty good. How about you?
Oh, man. I'm freaky tonight. You got a question or something you wanted to share?
Something I wanted to share?
Yes.
Okay, so I go into work at 5:30 in the morning.
Yes.
So I take the 405 freeway south to Irvine, because I worked in Irvine.
Yes.
So I was getting off the 405 freeway on Bake and I was how I always try to work minding my own business.
Yeah.
So as I was driving, something told me, "Hey, look at the sky." So I look at the sky as I was driving, and I saw on the sky like a line of orb it was a lot of dots, and it was orb like yellowish oranges. And so it was a long line of little small orbs in the sky. So
okay.
I was I tripped out. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Right.
I wanted to record it, but since it was you know how the blink of an eye, it happened so fast that I didn't even get a chance to record it.
Okay. Now let me ask you this: what did you think it was?
I think they were UFOs.
Okay. So is it safe? Is it safe to say you believe in UFOs?
Ever since I saw that, yes.
Okay. Understandable. I wish you could.
Yeah, and
I wish you could have recorded that.
Yes. Yes, man. I wish I did, because I wanted to show it to my cousins, because I'm really close to my cousins.
Yeah.
And I wanted to show them hey, look what I saw when I was driving to work. And yeah, dude.
Okay. Cool, man. Thank you very much for calling and taking the time out of your Friday to call us and sharing that with us. We greatly appreciate you being a part of the show, man.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
There's also been, from what I've seen, a big spike in UFO sightings in LA.
Yes.
From what I've seen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as you notice, it's getting closer and closer to the government revealing things. So now all of a sudden they're popping up, making special guest appearances. So again, this is coming from a skeptic.
Right.
So
yeah.
See, there I go again. I want to see it. And then if I see it, it scares the hell out of me. I wish I didn't see it.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of somewhere in the middle, but now from the biblical perspective, not my perspective. I got to make that clear. People that are into church, they'll say that these sightings are actual demons. So with that being said, we have another caller. Caller, your name and where are you calling from?
Jose from Bakersfield.
Jose from Bakersfield. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm great. You know what? And I want to thank everybody in Bakersfield, because every time we take calls, someone from Bakersfield calls, and that's great. So
that's right, man. Bakersfield's in the house. So I want to ask you something.
Yes, sir.
I've heard a story out here. It was like an old wives' tale, and I kind of seen the memes of it now on Facebook. But they said that supposedly there was a motel down here off of Union. That back in the day there was they had a dance, and apparently there was this girl, and she seen some dude that was getting all the females, right? And long story short, I guess they went upstairs, and I guess the dude went up flying in the sky or something. She saw the dude have chicken legs. There's been different different versions of the story.
Yeah,
have you heard of that?
Yeah, but you know what? It's almost that same story that a lot of people.
Yeah. I wonder where it originated from.
That's a good question.
Because I heard it happened here in Bakersfield and then in El Paso, Texas, and it's always within the Mexican community.
Absolutely. And my father actually shared that with me, and supposedly that happened in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So,
we spoke about that last time. Huh?
Yeah.
I wanted to see if anyone's ever talked about that subject, because I've kind of had it in the back of my mind, and I bring it up, and other people they've heard different versions of the story as well. You know, just wanted to see if you guys had heard of that.
No,
or your versions of it.
Yes, we definitely did hear of it. And you know what I did? I actually Googled it, and there were people actually in different parts of the world that had almost the same story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
It
interesting.
was like the American version of the Llorona or something. You know, it was like the devil at the dance hall or something like that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You're
Yeah.
right. So, but you actually heard that it happened out there at a motel in Bakersfield?
In Bakersfield, called the Noah, like in Greenfield, actually. It's like 2 or 3 miles south of Bakersfield, you know. When I was a little kid, so I always drove past by that motel. I'm like, that's a sketchy motel. I ain't never stepped my foot in there.
And it was called El Noa Noa?
El Noah.
Isn't that kind of like the song from Juan Gabriel? I don't
It
know.
is.
Yeah.
It is. But that's also the name of the little hotel.
Wow. Wow. I guess we're going to have to go check it out sometime.
Yeah, we gotta go.
Yeah.
Live ghost hunt. Yeah.
Yeah, ghost
Hey,
hunting.
man, it's all the places just go and get it cracking, man.
That's right. That's right. All right, man. Thank you for calling. We really appreciate taking your time, man, being a part of this show.
All right, man. You guys have a good night, man.
Yes, sir. You have a blessed one.
Thank you, brother.
So we're going to go. You know what? And I'm sure you heard that story as well. Remember I shared it with you, and many people have had different versions of that story. I don't know if it's just an old folk tale that has been passed around by oral tradition, or it literally happened.
Yeah.
You know,
I've seen a lot of my grandma would tell me stories about one of her relatives, either was her father, seeing a woman with a horse head, but it's always like a hybrid.
Yes.
Horse, and
yes.
even some of those stories come from Ireland too. There seems to be a connection between the Irish and the Mexicans
You are absolutely right, because I did some homework on there, and even in Ireland, there's a Llorona story.
Yeah, the screaming banshee.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting, you know. So, and you know what's so dope about living in today is the technology. We're living at the age of information, where it's at your fingertips. You know, I mean, when I was a kid, to have something like this was something out of Star Trek.
Oh yeah,
You know, and for us to be able to communicate with somebody in a different state.
it's crazy. Huh?
Yeah, you know, some different in Europe, you know. So, with that being said, we have another caller. We're going to take a couple of more calls. Caller, where are you calling from?
Hey, what's up? This is Rafa from Vegas.
From Vegas. How are you tonight?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, we're glad you're a part of this show. Did you have a question or something you wanted to share?
No, I was just going to share that, everything always happens in my room. A bunch of weird stuff. Like my sister has seen, I haven't been in the house, it's just been her. And out of nowhere, she sees someone coming into my room or this and that. I saw someone laying in my bed while I was sitting the other way. A bunch of spooky stuff. And yeah, I also wanted to say, I'm thinking about hitting that haunted museum. What you think?
Oh,
Zach Bagans museum out there, huh?
Have you been out there?
No, not yet. I really want to go. Yeah.
There's people, look, let me tell you both sides. There's people that have told me, don't go. Don't go. There's something definitely spiritual, creepy, demonic. Some people have even said that people have visited, left, and died. Okay? Again, I don't know this is just what, I don't know if this is actually true, but this is what people have told me. And then there's people that have just gone and found it interesting. There's people that have said something followed me home from there.
Yeah.
I don't know how true that is. You want to care to elaborate?
Yeah, I think certain people, like we have to be careful when we go into, because I love ghost hunting, but when we go to places, I usually say a prayer after. I'm like, anything, no one is welcome with me. You know, all negativity, I sage myself.
No.
Hey, take precaution. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not going to sit here and try to discourage you, but at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and encourage you. So I'm going to leave that up to you.
Hey, either way, I'm planning on going there sometime this month, and I'll call back to the next week and tell an update. Guys.
Yes, absolutely. And let us know. Let us know.
Yeah, for sure.
So thank you for that, man. We really appreciate you taking your time and being a part of the show.
Thank you, brother.
Have a blessed one.
All right.
We got about 9 more minutes, and we'll probably, if we can make them fast, we'll take 2 more phone calls. Then we'll wrap it up on this Freaky Friday. I'm glad everybody's tuned in on the live chat. Everybody's tuned in, commenting, having fun, and sharing your stories. I hope that you guys call we have time for at least 2 more calls if we kind of make them quick. So far, so good. We've gotten calls from New Jersey, from Wisconsin. We've got a lot of calls from out of state. So I'm thankful for that they were part of the show. I truly wish that we can do this every Friday, but time doesn't permit. And caller, are you there? And where are you calling from? Hello, caller. Hello.
Hey, what up, Tony? This is Andy from Santana.
Andy from Santana. How are you tonight?
Hey, what's up, man? I just had a couple questions for you.
Yes.
I'm doing.
Hello?
So what do you think about the industry that's going on right now? Like, for instance, you saw that Little Nas X with that devil worshipping. Like, why is that like being popular right now? You know, like they're not doing like nothing about it. You know, like little kids are watching shit like that. You know, so is that like normalized or like, you know, I don't think that's right. You know, because I feel like that shit's just like wrong.
Well,
what he's doing.
Let me give you several examples, okay? I think that's been going on for a long time, and I do agree with you. They are trying to normalize it. And when I say they, I will say that about Hollywood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. They is Hollywood.
Yes. To make it more specific. So now let me say this. When the Passion of the Christ movie came out, there was an uproar about that movie being released. Mm-hmm. Okay, that people were concerned that this movie was going to cause division amongst people because we live in a country that has Muslims and Jews and Catholics and Christians, and the people were going to get offended because they were going to share the Passion of the Christ movie. Okay, now a couple of months later, the remake of the movie The Omen comes out, and there's no uproar. Mm-hmm. There's billboards that say 666 coming soon. Right. No uproar. All Hollywood had to say that it's just promotion. Exactly. This is just what, you know, they're promoting the movie. Yeah. But there was no uproar. You have this shoe, the 666 thing. Yeah. How they excuse it? Oh, that is just a joke. It's a limited edition. That's what they're doing. Give an example. Here we have Steph Curry, who plays for Golden State Warriors basketball team. Nike had offered him a shoe, and he said yes, but he wanted a scripture on it. Mm-hmm. He wanted his shoe to have a scripture, and they told him no, but Nike will give this guy a shoe deal and put blood and 666 and Satan and all this stuff.
Yeah. I've seen that recently. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's almost
some crazy shit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost what's good, it's wrong to them. You know, and what's wrong is good. Yeah. You know, so once again, they is Hollywood. You know, they almost seem like they try to make evil look cool. Mm-hmm. I don't agree with that. And
yeah, that's all.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All it is, man. That's Hollywood for you right there, man.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, Hollywood is like all screwed up. You know, they try to like manipulate like the young audience so they could like get into that, you know, that scene.
Yes. You know what? I agree. I mean, think about this. Back in the 70s, rock music, they had no problem putting crazy artwork on some of these rock records. Like, demonic, whether it was Black Sabbath or whether it was Dio, whether it was Motley Crue, whether it was Iron Maiden. No problem. No problem. But I guarantee you try to do something good, possibly something even, if you will, promoting your faith. You know, that's considered hate because you're offending people, you know, but that's just the way it is. Yeah. You know, I'll give you one last example. Kirk Cameron. I'm trying to remember the show that he was a part of. Remember Kirk Cameron?
No, it isn't.
He was an actor. Growing Pains. Oh, he was on that show. Okay. Yeah. He became a born again Christian. Mm-hmm. That's fine. That's what he wants. He became a born again Christian. He came out on that show, The View. You're familiar with that show, The View? Yeah. Okay. The first question that they asked him, and you can Google this and look it up. The first question that they asked him, why did you pick the most unliked or the most unwanted religion in Hollywood? Oh. They couldn't even respect that that was his faith. Mm-hmm. But, you know, that's what they asked him. So hopefully that shed a little bit of light, man, that where we're headed, and it's only going to get uglier, sad to say.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. All right, man. Thanks, Tony. Much appreciated. Big fan.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
And that was the last phone call because we took up all of our time. So hold on 1 second. We can go ahead and take off these headphones. So we took up a lot of time answering a lot of these questions, but it's great. I wish we had more time. We would take more phone calls and we would share more stories. But it's always good to know at least what you're talking about, because what this caller called and asked is true. It is very true. It's like Hollywood makes evil look cool, you know.
It ties back into what we were talking about too.
Yes.
Is we got to be careful with what we're spoon-fed from the media, from Facebook, from Instagram. Don't take it at face value. You got to research it and look
Yes.
into it. You know?
Absolutely. You know, you could make a good, wholesome movie, whatever, but you make a demonic movie, and you know, and I'm not gonna lie, I'll be the first to admit it. I'm guilty. I enjoy some of those movies.
Oh yeah,
but they'll invest so much money in those movies.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like they promote evil over good.
Yeah.
You know, good is evil because you may offend someone. You know, so whatever. With that being said, Sammy, anything you else want to share that maybe we didn't bring up as we are in our closing?
Yeah. Well, to really quick to cover on the topic we're just talking about, as they say, be careful what you read, you know, because some books are dangerous, and that ties into movies and to anything else that we intake.
I think that is very true.
We got to keep a strong mind, a strong positive mentality.
Yes, there are some books, I'll be honest with you, that should not be read. I've seen people's lives because they read one book.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, that book was pure hate.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he almost started seeing, if you will, people of different color as their enemy.
Yeah. Right.
Because he read a certain book.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this guy is a racist.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's got great points. Okay. You know, I knew a friend that read a book that spoke about Hitler.
Yeah.
And he came back saying, I believe Hitler was a great man. He had great ideas, just went about doing it the wrong way. You know, so.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. With that being said, any final words, any shout outs, anything you want to promote?
Yeah. You know, it's funny that I'm a part of the horror community with my artwork and stuff. But
Yes.
although that's, you know, we're talking about how it can be negative, but I'm happy that the horror community, we drop, you know, all of our personal things and we find more things in common. You know what I mean? Like we find things that we're able to relate about. And I think that's the best thing we can do, man, because we see so much division right now. It's just we have more in common than we do have not in common.
Yeah, well, you know what? The artwork that you have, you know, that you post up, to me, it's amazing. I love that stuff, man.
Thank you, brother.
Have you considered? Well, I don't know if you have making shirts of some of that artwork.
Yeah, actually, this one I'm wearing now.
Ghost of LA. That's nice, man.
Yeah.
So, are you selling those?
Yeah, I got them on my website, theartofsammyruiz.com. Then I got the music stuff going on.
Okay. Well, I know your social media has been up. If not, it has, but you can look it up on the description after the show. And at the same time, they can hit you on the DM. Now, does your Instagram have the link to your website?
Oh, yeah. Right there in the bio, you got the links to
Great.
my YouTube, my
Great.
Spotify, all that stuff.
Great. So the next time I probably see you will probably be at Monster Palooza.
Yeah.
I'll shoot you a text to let you know what day. I know it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I think most likely I'm going to head out there on a Saturday.
Saturday, yeah.
Yeah. So with that being said, let me just go ahead and thank people behind the scenes. Alex Cervantes Enterprise. I also want to thank Anthony. He wasn't able to be with us tonight, but he's always here. Anthony does a great job, same way Alex does. Also, I want to give a shout out to my son for helping me promote this. Be Scanless, look him up. And with that being said, I want to thank everybody who called in, everybody who participated, who was a part of the show. Also want to thank everybody who was on the live chat. And those of you that are not on the live chat, I know people haven't subscribed, but just turn on their YouTube, on their television, and just watch. So I want to thank you guys for being a part of the show. And we won't be back next week, but the following week, possibly the weekend of Monster Palooza. And I'm going to shoot some video out there, and I'm going to post it up on the Freaky Tales podcast page for you guys to view and enjoy. So with that being said, thank you very much. Expect the unexpected, and hopefully you guys have a freaky night. Thank you, Sammy.
Thank you, Brother Tony. Thank you, guys.